Welcome back, everybody. This week we started our first seeds of the season and put them out in our current greenhouse, which we will quickly outgrow this year. So this week we also began construction on our new greenhouse. So stick around if you want to see how all that went. Some of the first seeds we plant are onions, peas, and some cool weather greens. So this week I started with Dakota Tears, which is a yellow storage onion, red Weathersfield, which as the name suggests is a red onion, and evergreen hardy white scallion, which are bunching onions. We planted 400 onion seeds in each 10 by 20 flat. I started with the onions because they are definitely the most tedious. I was trying to get all 400 seeds evenly spaced in the loose soil. We're using a ProMix potting soil brand from Menards that we've had good luck with for the last couple seasons. We ended up with 3 flats total, which will more than cover our bed and hopefully leave us with some left to sell at the farmer's market. The scallions were a little easier since I did those in a 72 cell tray and planted 6 to 8 seeds per cell. They will get planted into the bed in those bunches. Next, we planted Super Sugar snap peas and Savoy spinach into paper pots. There are 264 cells in each tray. This is our first year trying peas in paper pots, and it will be interesting to see how early we can get a harvest doing it this way. Before we just directly seeded them early in the spring. The paper pot system lets us start the seeds inside and transplant them very efficiently when the plants are still very small. Last and easiest, I did 50 cells of celery, which we may or may not offer at the farmer's market, but I like to grow because it is just so easy. These trays got brought out in our little 4x8 foot greenhouse. If we stack a row on the floor, we can squeeze about 30 trays in there. It served us well over 3 seasons now, but this year we are going to outgrow it. That's why Josh has been working on our new greenhouse that should fit 130 trays. More on that project next. For now, it's just watching the temperature and keeping things watered, and we'll be off and growing.
We had a little break in the weather last weekend, so I used the opportunity to get some dirt moved to start leveling out a spot for the new greenhouse. We had some dirt that was in a pile at another location on the farm, so I used the track loader and the dump trailer to move it up to our new building site. The frost is just starting to come out of the ground. After a few warm days, so we're able to move, but too much driving in the same spot will start to break through. The dirt in the pile was actually in pretty good shape though, and a lot better than I expected. I was able to move about 7 loads of dirt to start building the new pad. I also ordered 2 tandem loads of creek gravel to cover the mud and finish bringing the pad up to final grade. Next up, I borrowed a mini excavator and dug a trench for the hot water lines from our outdoor wood stove. This stove currently heats our house and garage and is the main reason I chose this location to build the greenhouse. Otherwise, I probably would have picked a more level spot. Once the trench was done, I put a piece of 6-inch ADS corrugated plastic pipe to use as a conduit for the hot water lines and electric. covered this pipe with a little bit of gravel. Then I backfilled the rest with dirt, and as you can see, the conditions were not ideal, but about as much as you could ask for in February. I then used a skid steer to spread out some gravel over the mud and track it in. The following Saturday morning, we went into town to pick up some lumber for the foundation. These are 6x6 pressure-treated timbers and a few other of the boards we needed. We got about an inch of rain throughout the week, and this is what the pad looked like on Saturday. Here we are laying out the corners of the foundation and driving some grade pins. We used the rotary laser to help set the height. I attached batten boards to these pins and used a set of strings to form the outer perimeter. We used the mini excavator to dig in the first layer of the foundation. After that, it was some handwork to set the grade and checking the measurements off the string. We worked our way around, tamping and leveling and setting the timbers. If you've ever worked with pressure-treated lumber straight from the yard, you know it's soaking wet and heavy. We placed the timbers and lagged the ends together with timber lock wood screws. I pre-drilled through the first timber with a long 3/16 bit. The first layer of timbers was a slow go, with having to set the grade of each one just right. Once the first layer was down, I used a mini excavator to roughly level off the area inside before walking it out. The second layer went a lot faster. We just had to trim the timbers to length and place them. No more digging required. Then I put down a bead of foaming urethane glue, not so much for structural strength, but to provide an air seal between the two layers. More timber lock screws were placed at the corners and every 16 inches along the length. The last thing we got done this weekend was placing the two edge boards inside. I'll explain more about those and the overall plan for this greenhouse on the next update. And that's where we left off Sunday. I'm happy with the progress, but we'll need to keep trucking along in order to get it running in time, or we run out of space in the old greenhouse. Catch you on the next one.